All right, y'all. So I was at the Granite Hills Helix game last night. Great game, double overtime win. Granite Hills edging out Helix 44-43, I believe the final score was. A really good game overall. I had a feeling from the start of the year, because when I looked at the 2023 season and I checked everybody's schedule, I checked the top teams, and then I saw Granite Hills playing Helix. And ever since 2-3 years ago, when Granite Hills got really, really good, that ended up being kind of a rivalry in itself because they're in the same league, Grossmont Hills, I believe. So they're going to make that league game. That's going to be whoever wins that game is going to win the Hills League. So it's been a really anticipated game. I had a feeling that Granite Hills was going to win. They had home field advantage. I believe going into the season that, looking at the scrimmage against Lincoln that Granite had and a couple early season wins that the Eagles had won, I think Mission Hills and against Saints, they beat Saints as well. I was like, they have a better overall team. I believe they have better personnel because at that point I haven't seen them play in person or watched a full game. I had watched Helix's game against Edison, the very first game, and I was like, okay, Helix, they still got that culture. They still got a really good nucleus of players to be able to win some good games. But I thought that Granite Hills had more momentum. For some reason, there's something going on with Helix's football team and them not winning big games, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit, and that's kind of the premise of the video. But I had thought that Helix was going to edge them out, or Granite Hills was going to edge them out rather, and they ended up beating them. And it was a little bit closer than I thought at the end because there was a point where Granite Hills had momentum going into the fourth quarter, but then Helix made a really good surge coming back, and it was just a good overall game. Everyone competed. I'm hoping that no one got seriously injured or whatnot, but that was a good game overall. It was a packed house. It was a good environment. So this video is mainly about the Scotties, man. I don't know what's going on, and I had started to see this way back. It's not that long ago, but way back, man, when I was in high school, like 2013, 2014. This started a long time ago, and I don't know why this is happening. So you could probably exclude those state championship runs that happened, 2015, 2016. Helix won some CIFs. They've been winning. Let's get something straight. Helix is no slouch. They're one of the best teams in the county, and they're a charter school, but they're not a cheating private school like Cathedral, getting players, paying families, whatever. But they have been winning, and they are bona fide winners, so I'm not taking anything away from them. But when it comes with high expectation, I have to get on them and criticize them a little bit. So I don't know if anybody remembers, but back in the Michael Austin days, Michael Austin was this really good quarterback, dual threat kid, track runner. I think he ended up going to Cal Poly out of Helix, that had a really good run and had kind of surged Helix back to like statewide attention after the whole Reggie Bush era. I believe when Reggie Bush was at Helix and Alex Smith, they were like, no one was stopping Helix. There were some good teams in between there in the mid-2000s. I played against a couple of them, but they weren't just destroying everybody like they were back when they were going against Oceanside back in the D2 days. So I'm looking at Michael Austin, and this kid's good. They got a lot of good players alongside him, and they're winning CIFs, and they're winning the Open Division and the Division I CIF section for the county almost every year, from a span of like 2014 to like 2019 or something like that. But when it comes to the state playoff game, and I believe Helix was in the state championship game at one point, and they lost to Folsom High School. I had thought for some reason they can't get it done. Like, they can't get the big one, the big game, right? When it comes to the state, of course, every game leading up to that is big. But when it gets to a certain point, you have to win it all. And again, in that year when Helix won the state, they didn't win it all. They won CIF, great. They won the state playoff, but they didn't win the big one. And fast forward to 2021 with Christian Washington, and when Helix beat a really good Lincoln team, no one really talks about this game. Helix won that game, right? But they ended up losing to Mater Dei in the state playoff game, and Mater Dei ended up winning state, or win that game against Helix, and then they won state. 2021. Can't win the big game. So now I'm over here, and a lot of those players on Helix's team in 2021 are on this team now, 2023. Rylan Jesse is still the quarterback. He was a quarterback back then. They had a lot of these players. Number 24, a good running back, linebacker on the team. I think he's a senior. He was on that team. And kind of the premise of this video is who I'm gonna highlight is this Kevin Allen kid. And then Kevin Allen, he had to be on that team as well. Jackson Daniels, all of these players were on that CIF championship team in 2021. Can't beat Mater Dei in the state playoff. So we're here at Granite Hills. Helix can't get it done. And I've been following a lot of Helix's game. They've been doing really well. Let me say this. As a critical fan and a person that wants the Helix Highlanders to do very well because they represent this part of East County and the whole county very well, and it's a very storied program. And I'm specifically highlighting this team right now, 2023, after this loss to Granite. For some reason, this is the Christian Washington effect. Christian Washington was the main player and the best player on the field, in my opinion, at all times back in 2021 that led Helix all the way to winning the CIF championship and to get to the state playoff berth, whom they lost to Mater Dei. If you take Christian Washington off that team in 2021, Helix goes 6-5, first round exit, and they lose 5 games. I don't remember who they have on that schedule. I don't remember their record per se. They had a very tough schedule playing Division I. But what I'm saying is that you take one player off that team and the whole team is booty, in my opinion. So we're looking at 2023, and Kevin Allen, number 3, Helix's running back. They have him playing defensive back too, which is crazy with the amount of touches and the amount of work and all-purpose yards he gets. He is the reason for the season. Helix got a lot of good dudes on their team. I like Jesse as a quarterback, but for some reason it seems like he can't make the big play. I don't know why. Is it tentativeness? Is it scheme? Is it play calling? I don't know. I'm not in the huddle. I'm not a player on the team, so I don't really know when it comes to that regard with the quarterback. But he can't get it done. And he's Utah State commit, big arm, good quarterback, can run. Can't make the big play. I don't know why. Helix got, I think, these 2 poly linebackers, number 8, number 9, good players. They looked the part. You know what I'm saying? Helix, they got these skill position big receivers. Number 4, Matavu, and then 2, Jackson Daniels. None of these kids, to me, are stepping up to the point where you say, hey, if Kevin Allen wasn't on this team, we'd still be all right. That's a false statement. If number 3, if Kevin Allen isn't playing for Helix, Helix is winning 3 games this year, in my opinion. They use him for everything. They have these power runs, these wildcat runs for him. They're handing the ball off to him 35 times a game. Who is it, against Madison or someone crazy? Cathedral? He had, 40 rushes? They're giving this man the ball almost every play, and they're expecting him to carry the team they're expecting him to carry this team through a freaking buzzsaw, playing Saints, playing Cathedral, playing Madison. One guy, and he is not that big. He really is. He's a small guy. They have him running up the tackles every play, saying, here you go, dude. take us to the promised land. The difference with Christian Washington was wide. He was a big kid. He was able to run through the tackles. I think he was probably 195. This kid Kevin Allen on the roster, it says he's 180. He can't be no more than 175, man. He is a slot out there playing the every down back. And it's not like he's getting 12, 14 carries. He's getting at least 27 carries a game. And they have him playing on defense. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm ranting, I'm rambling. Helix got to figure something out. Because that was a tough loss to Granite Hills this year, in my opinion. I believe that if it was at Helix, home field advantage, confidence, might be a little different result. But that's not the point. The point is Helix got to figure something out with their offense and with their scheme and their coaching to be able to take a little bit of the load off of Kevin Allen III and be able to figure something out to where they can distribute more of the plays and more of the production to other players, because you're putting everything on this little kid to do everything. I like this kid. He's by far the best player on the team. I thought it was Jesse. I'm wrong. He's not. And that's no shot to Ryland Jesse, because he's a really good quarterback, and I think he's going to do really well if he's in a really good system at the next level. But Kevin Allen is the best player on the field in most situations, just like how it was with Christian Washington. I don't know who the well, okay, never mind. I'm thinking of 2019. Jesse was a quarterback in 2021. He didn't throw the ball one time. All he did was hand the ball off to Christian Washington, and they won CIF. That's how it's going to look like this year, except I don't have Helix going to CIF and winning. I think they're going to lose at some point, and I think they're going to lose a big game. What happened last year for Division I? Because Carlsbad and Lincoln were in the open last year. Helix, home game, lose it. Who was it? Mission Hills or El Camino? They lost to one of them. Can't win the big game. Last year, when Granite made their big run last year to win the state, Helix had a chance to beat him at home. Helix at home. Can't win the big game. I don't know what's going on. Helix got great coaches, but they need other guys to step up, because you're giving a ball and you're putting your life in a 5'9", 170-pound guy, and he's killing it. He's doing so well. Silver Pigskin finalist for sure. But come on, Helix. You're going to rely on one kid. This isn't – I'd expect that for a small Division III, Division IV school in Chula Vista or something, like a Sweetwater just has a dude, a dog. Or Imperial, back when they had Royce Freeman. One dude carrying the – not an open division caliber team. Relying on one dude. You're telling me none of the players can step up and make plays. You're relying on one guy, Kevin Allen. Hey, man, they got to figure it out. Shout out to Kevin Allen III. Hopefully he can get some big offers, because he's that dude. It's unfortunate with the size factor, but I believe he could easily play Division I, no problem. But holy crap, man, figure something out, Helix.